although our epitome of success is a goal down the line of where we want to be, you can't look at every day that you're not there as a failure. And a lot of times Zach and I have problems with taking the little victories. And a huge part that can help that is by actually calculating the days to your goals and successes. How's it going? Job here with Monarch for another Monarch Minute, where they always go over a minute. We're going over the last week that has happened. As you guys recall, last week we went over the dead period of not posting. We put out our first video explaining just how we're going to be documenting. This last week, any big takeaways that we had, or pivotal moments we learned, and things like that. One big update here, at least where we're at, is we've been able to finally have some sunny weather, so we've been able to get out there and do some fishing, do some hiking, and clear the mind a little bit during this just crazy pandemic time, so that's been awesome. Here in Sandpoint, we finally got to pull out the drone and fly that a little bit, which is pretty cool. Although normally you guys just see Zach and I in our work environments and what we're doing with work, we like to even apply a lot of the same skills we learned in work to our outside personal hobbies. So we've been able just to be out and creating content and doing things that we find enjoyable. One big update on our goals for ongoing retainer clients that we had, and we set it up for a trajectory and where we wanted to be going every month to reach kind of reverse engineer where we wanted to be, and we're on track for that. In fact, we actually are above schedule with that, signing more people than we originally planned, which is awesome, because that's one of our biggest goals, is just trying to pick up as many retainer clients as possible. Which brings up another great point to everybody that we've been reflecting on this week and even learning during this time of the pandemic, is making sure you keep time to get outside of the box a little bit. And what we mean by that is, a lot of times, especially during this pandemic, all the restaurants are closed, you're not allowed to hang out with friends, you can't leave your house, you pretty much work if you can work, and work on your house or wherever you happen to be. During these times where you also see just skyrocketing rates of depression and burnout, and just when someone's stuck doing something with no outlets, not being able to refresh their mind, you see a lot of people just getting burnout and getting frustrated with whatever they're doing. I think one of the biggest problems that Zach and I actually have is constantly not being satisfied with where you're at, but to the point of it can sometimes be destructive. And that's one of the things we constantly have to remind ourselves of, is although our epitome of success is a goal down the line of where we want to be, you can't look at every day that you're not there as a failure. And a lot of times Zach and I have problems with taking the little victories. And a huge part that can help that is by actually calculating the days to your goals and successes, so that every day, even if you've only done a little bit, you can see how that equalizes your goal at the end of your timeline. So all this being said, during this time of the pandemic, when a lot of times we're stuck head down grinding, and the business is growing and we are signing more people and we are beating our goals, we just can never see we're not at the end point yet, so we can't be happy. And that's something that has definitely been hard on us during this pandemic. Not even necessarily the business changes, but just the fact that we're just working in a rut of just doing the same thing. So we had to really sit back and just remind ourselves of what we're doing and the accomplishments we've made, and in a weird way actually get out and just do other things. Normally our answer to a lot of the problems with work is just work more. And sometimes you just need to go clear your head and get out of the office. So I strongly advise anybody out there that might be in a similar position of just grinding for a long period of time. You have to keep grinding, obviously, but any moment that you can, maybe especially during a stressful time, just get out and take an hour just to do one thing that helps you reset your mind. Ultimately, it helps you work more efficiently when you're back and you recharge. So if you can't sell it to yourself to do it on a personal note, sell it to the business drive to make sure you can continue to work more efficiently. Another big question that came up this week, actually, it was asked to us from a client or a prospective client, is they asked about, their question was, should we be doing blogs, should we be doing videos, which one should we be doing, where should we be putting our time? And the answer that we provided them was yes. And what that means is, a lot of times people try and decide like which specific thing is the best. And a lot of times it's hard to tell, because based on your industry, based on what you're doing and your own skill sets, you could have better engagement from one platform to another. And we always break it down by dream scenario with $1 trillion budget and an entire task force of people to help do this. Put full effort into every platform that's out there. That being said, not everybody can do that. Clearly, 98% of businesses can't do that. But during this particular question with blog or YouTube or podcast or whatnot, it's commit to what you can do. Obviously, we talk about that a lot. Commit to what you can do consistently, because accounts have inactivity scores. So you don't want to put out content every day for a week and then ghost it for another 7 days and then post off for 3 days and stop. Like, the algorithms would rather see you posting maybe a couple times a week, but consistently every week at the same time. But one big takeaway from all this, though, is that you can recycle content across multiple different platforms. And we even just listened to a Gary Vee talk where he brought out this point, is that you can record a video, and this is just a way that's easiest for us to do it and a good way to do it, but be able to recycle content, and the fact that if you do want to have maybe a podcast, maybe a video, or maybe a blog, well, start by doing a video so that you have an actual video content you can put on YouTube, which can show up. Every video you have on YouTube can show up as its own specific page on Google, which helps SEO. So get yourself a video made, and you can always pull the audio from that video and use the exact same audio on a podcast. And then you can take that audio, and depending on what software you have, you can just have it dictate it and write it out in a blog. You might have to do some rewriting as well, but it's a way to get across 3 different avenues. So a podcast, sound, video, sound, and image, and then a blog. And you were able to recycle that content from one major production and use it across 3 different places, and you can tweak it a little bit to match that particular audience. There's tons of different places to post your videos, there's tons of different places to post your podcasts, and as far as when you write a blog, there's tons of different ways you can write it and share it across platforms, and even get featured in other bigger blogs. Content creators are looking for other content as well. So network out there and share some content across all of them. And if you have questions, again, reach out to us. We're more than welcome to answer questions that people have when they're trying to do it themselves. And again, just trying to promote people taking the most out of their digital experience. So that has been our reflection, our Monarch Minute over the last week, talking about making sure you're utilizing the platforms you should be, recycling content that you can apply to multiple platforms. And finally, during this crazy time when stress is high and you're grinding, make sure you remember to take some time, smell the roses, and recharge yourself so that you have the longevity that you're going to need to make a successful business. Thanks for tuning in to this Monarch Minute, and see you next week.